I cannot believe this! Welcome to this very special and exclusive episode at TFL Truck. I've been on a quest to find the most extreme, the quickest, and the coolest 7.3 liter new gas V8 in the truck. And the quest led me here to the proving grounds, Ford Proving Grounds in Arizona. And right along the side here is a older 2019 motorhome with an old V10, which is actually going away. But the cool part about this is the new prototype motorhome with a new 7.3 in it, the new delivery van chassis with a 7.3, and of course this, the one-off monster. This is a strip chassis for a step van with of course the 7.3 liter gas V8 inside. And I got my man Steven behind the camera.
Hey everybody.
And we're gonna do a few tests with all these machines. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a road test on the two motorhomes. We're gonna have a slalom test to see how the suspension works. And of course, acceleration testing, because I wanna see exactly how the V10 compares to the new V8. And also, at the end of the video, stay tuned because I'm gonna show you a 0 to 60 time on that strip chassis. The old school V10 6.8 liter had a rating of 320 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, and it is still made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Many people don't know that Ford has been building V10 motorhome chassis for a long time. They remained mostly unchanged for over 20 years. Here's one of those older designs. Why put a giant motorhome through a slalom? It's to test the body roll and the driving confidence. This older design motorhome felt top heavy with a lot of lean. Let's see how the new chassis update does. Hiding behind this grille is the new 7.3 liter gas V8, and the rating in this case is 350 horsepower and 468 pound-feet of torque. So it's not the same rating as you would find in a pickup truck like the Ford Super Duty. This is a new chassis prototype. It has larger and heavier anti-roll sway bars, new spring and shock tuning, and larger bump stops to help control this heavy beast. I felt a huge difference immediately. There is much less lean, and the chassis feels like a much smaller vehicle overall. This inspires a lot more driver confidence. At 25 miles an hour approximately, the older chassis was just swaying kind of like a boat. Yeah, if you like that, that's fine. But this new one just felt more stable and felt smaller than it actually is. A lot more comfortable, I think.
And guys, I can go crawl underneath right now and actually show you the sway bar differences. Let's go take a look. All right, everybody. So one of the big deals here was much thicker and larger sway bar. So this is the 2019 model. You can see the sway bar right there hanging down below the diff. And right next to us, we've got the 2020. Let me crawl over here. And you can see the sway bar right there. Much beefier, much bigger. This thing is doing a lot more work here on the 2020.
Here it is, the F59 strip chassis. The frame itself hasn't changed year to year, and it's not changing now. And that's because upfitters needed to remain the same so they can still put the same bodies on top of this particular chassis. But just for TFL Truck, Ford added a couple of things for safety, and that's these fenders with tubing here, fenders so the rock's not being flung up, and also this pretty beefy, sturdy roll cage. It's pretty incredible. But the coolest part is, of course, you could see all the components, the driveline, this transmission, the engine, and of course the radiator up front. Steven, you were telling me that this particular unit here is actually a parking brake.
Yeah, so guys, that right there between the drive shaft and the rear diff, that's actually a drum brake, and that acts as the parking brake for this thing, which I thought was interesting. And when you have so much weight, you don't want park in your transmission, right? You want an actual brake, so that's what that is right there.
And also, of course, the fuel tank is in the back between the rails. A lot of commercial vehicles do that. Your exhaust system, you have a couple of drive shaft extensions, obviously, because it's a pretty long chassis. Here's the 6-speed that remains the same. But the engine, of course, is a 7.3 liter Godzilla. Of course, the rating on this engine is still a commercial rating, because it's a dyno certified for emissions and other regulations at 350 horsepower and 468 pound-feet of torque. And there's my seat. Ha!
I cannot believe this! This is nuts!
Guys, this probably goes without saying, but we drive a lot of cool stuff here at TFL Truck. This has got to be one of the coolest.
Driving a strip chassis like this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I didn't have to take it through the slalom. This step fan chassis is mostly unchanged, but it was so much fun. This is as close as a commercial truck driver will ever get to an open-wheel race car. The 7.3-liter V8 makes this lightweight machine so very quick and responsive. I just wanted to drive this thing all day long. The sitting position is still pretty high, and I'm staring at the big spinning cooling fan right below my right foot. With every run through the slalom, I feel like I was going faster and faster, getting closer to the cones. It was really cool to see the inner workings of a truck like this. What a bizarre sensation driving this thing. I could see the tires, so going through the cones, it's almost like a Formula Ford car. Well, no, okay, it's really heavy still, but because there's no body on it and I can see everything and the wind is in my face, it's really fun actually. I never expected that to be the case, and we have a lot of cool equipment here. This here is a 2019 Fleetwood, and it's a fully built RV. Let me show you inside. And it's also a little bit sad because it's also the end of the 6.8-liter V10 era. The big V10 is on its way out. It's being retired. But let me show you inside of this one and see what we have. And this is a class of motorhome called Class A. And in this case, of course, it's gasoline powered, not a diesel powered. But it's fully equipped, and what's happening in the industry now, people want nicer materials, you know, bigger cabinets, right? You have a microwave oven, you have the stove, you have a giant fridge, you have your bedroom, you have your slide outs that expand this space. But you're increasing the weight, you're lifting the weight off the ground higher. So a lot of the RV manufacturers came to Ford and they said, well, we need a chassis that can handle not just more weight up high, but also be more comfortable to drive. So this is exactly what they're doing here with the new prototype.
Alright, Andre, you gonna make me a pizza or what?
No.
I'm getting hungry, man.
I know, it's lunchtime. I mean, this is basically what you're used to in your house. And
even
fridge,
a full-size fridge.
Yeah, and it has little locks, so you can lock it when you're moving. I'm gonna take this on the highway and see exactly how this one compares to the new chassis, and see how the new suspension system works. Getting on the road in the older design motorhome starts out at a leisurely and relaxed pace. That's what driving a motorhome is all about. It tracks nice and straight, but as soon as you need to change lanes or go around curves, it takes concentration and focus. There is noticeable body lean, and since your RV is likely loaded with all of your kitchenware and valuables, you really do not want much lean and have things slide and bang around. It feels like the front of the motorhome is somewhat disconnected from the rear. The steering has a little bit more play in it than you might be used to after driving a brand new pickup truck. Is it really all that bad? No. Can it be improved? Yes, absolutely, I think so.
Over the years, the motorhomes have gotten a lot nicer. So we've got all these nice finished cabinets. We've got a lot of them have the granite countertops. So year after year, what's happening is they're actually the center of gravity of the vehicle keeps raising up.
Okay.
So that was one of the things that we wanted to address. Actually, get the vehicle certified so it's got a higher center of gravity.
So it went from about what, 48 inches to about 55. I mean, that's considerable.
Yep. I think it was 54, 55. But yeah, we wanted to raise the CG up. And again, it's to accommodate a lot of the nicer things that the motorhomes are going to have nowadays. We actually have got new spring rates on the vehicle. Okay. We've got new sway bars front and rear on the vehicle. We put extended jounce bumpers front and rear on the vehicle for our heavier versions.
Okay.
And then we've got, of course, new shock damping. That's not necessarily going to help with the roll, but it certainly helps with the body control. Steering gear, everything's the same, but since the vehicle's actually planted, you get a very good response out of the vehicle. It seems tied down, and when we drive it, it's a lot more confident. And the actual steer on the vehicle, it's easier for the owners to actually have the longer trips, and they're less stressed at the end of the day.
This prototype is built specifically to mimic and copy the overall shape and weight of a finished motorhome. And you can see here, I mean, none of these are Ford parts. This touchscreen display, the controls for the heating and cooling, the dashboard, because every manufacturer of motorhomes have their own taste and their own take and their own customer base. So this is just meant to show the size and the weight of the vehicle, not necessarily all the features that you would have. And this is how Ford set up this particular prototype just for us at TFL Truck. There's a lot of steel in here, and it's mounted in a very specific way to simulate the center of gravity off the ground and also the total weight. The new motorhome chassis is a whole different story. The entire motorhome feels more tight and more maneuverable. I barely felt any sideways body lean on the highway. The steering feels more stable and direct. Ford did not change the steering box or linkages, but they say that the better suspension control translates to improved steering feel, and I can attest to that. Motorhome manufacturers can now load these RVs up with all the luxurious decor and feel confident that the driving experience will be more relaxed than ever before.
All right, everybody, it's time for an acceleration test. On the right, that is the 2020 model. On the left, we have the 2019. That's a V10. That's a 7.3 V8. It's gonna be exciting to see what happens here.
Thanks to Ford for providing their proving ground, but we don't have quite enough runway to do a full 0 to 60 because these two are basically fully loaded near their gross vehicle weights. But you'll be able to visually see how they do side by side. And the V8 actually has more power. 350 horsepower here versus 320 in the V10. 468 pound-feet of torque here versus 460 pound-feet over there.
Andre's getting psyched up in there.
And I'm good.
Oh, Andre took him off the line.
I think I started all right.
Oh, maybe the V10's making up a bit of ground. I don't know, guys. They're way down there now. It's impossible to see.
Well, John, how about we swap drivers, swap vehicles, and try it again? Ford tells me that the 6-speed for 2020 chassis and beyond had a little bit of tuning done to it, how the tow haul mode works, and a little bit of that tuning as well. So we'll see how it works when I jump in the old truck.
Here comes Andre, the winner. His triumphant return.
Here I am in the old one. This is a fully built out motorhome.
Woo! I think Andre jumped the flag on that one, for sure. But it looks like the 7.3's making up ground.
Okay, good start. What? Why is the new one passing me?
So there you go, folks. Even when Andre jumped the line there, the 7.3 still made up the time, and for sure took this one as well.
Alright guys, the engine is fired up. Of course, this is a commercial grade 7.3 liter V8. And I'm lining up against a delivery van. Who would have thought this would be possible?
All right, everybody, we're ready for our next acceleration test. Strip chassis on the right, fully boxed van on the left. Look at him go! The strip chassis is running away with it, guys. I mean, it's a lot lighter. It's obviously a little more aerodynamic as well. And let me tell you, it also sounds incredible with that 7.3 gas V8.
Okay guys, that was pretty insane. First it was no contest.
This may look like just a regular old delivery van, but this is actually the next generation of the F59 strip chassis with a delivery van body on it. Let me show you what's changed.
So this is our 20 model year, and we wanted to actually add some, we call them driver assist features. So primarily we got two things. One's lane departure warning. So as a customer, if they're starting to veer over the line, we've got an audible warning for them.
Okay.
And then so they can see that on the cluster, and then they'll also have an audible warning on which line they're veering from.
Okay.
And then the other thing we've got, which is really a safety feature, is called pre-collision assist.
Okay.
And it's actually like a collision avoidance aid. So if the driver loses attention, and this is very common for commercial or passenger vehicles, as you approach, if you're not paying attention, the vehicle will actually activate the brakes and start to scrub off as much speed before there's any actual collision. So you can be going 60 or you can be going 20. If you're doing 20, it'll bring the vehicle to a complete stop.
Okay.
If you're doing 60,
It'll decrease.
It'll scrub off 20 miles an hour about, trying to take as much energy away from the accident. But
That's
there's more than likely there would be impact if you're doing 60.
Well, this is new for me again. This is a step van. They also call it the F59 chassis. And it's basically a delivery van. It could be used for any number of things. It could be a taco truck, a food truck. But this particular one has a new dash, new steering wheel, of course the new engine, the 7.3 liter V8, 6-speed. So I'm gonna see how it accelerates here at the proving ground. Off I go. I don't know many outlets that actually do acceleration testing on step vans, but we did. And the best time I got 0 to 60 is 13.53 seconds in the van you see right here. It's aluminum body. Of course, the 7.3 liter V8 is underneath it. And okay, I have nothing to compare it against, but it doesn't sound too bad. 13 seconds, a regular small passenger car may do the same. Now let's see what time I can get in that Mad Max strip chassis. In my search for the quickest V8 gas engine, a brand new one, I'm thinking this could be it, because it's kind of lightweight, has no body, and Ford was great enough to provide this, actually build the roll cage, and actually invite us here to the proving grounds in Arizona and to allow us to do this comparison.
I'm gonna try to do another acceleration.
Finally, I got the best time of 10.16 seconds, 0 to 60. And because there is no weight on this chassis, it takes off really strong, but then its speed, it gets a little bit light. The rear end is just kind of hopping around. It's really exciting, a tiny bit scary. But 10 seconds, okay, it's not the fastest 7.3, but I think it's the coolest. Guys, I learned a heck of a lot about Ford chassis, their engines, suspension systems. I never knew it was so involved, and I hope you enjoyed this fun video as well. And go back to tfltruck.com for more news, views, and real-world chassis motorhome reviews.
See you guys.